Well, as a parent, it can be hard to know how to help your kids when they're dealing with issues like bullying or if they're harming themselves. A new book is offering parents some practical tools. It's called Partnering with Eyes Wide Open. Author Dwayne Peace is a retired Calgary police officer who spent several years working as a school resource officer. He is also a father of 5, grandfather of 6. So Dwayne knows what he's talking about. He joins us now in studio. How are you?
Very good. Just a correction. It's
Sure.
Parenting with Eyes Wide Open, not partnering with eyes wide
Oh,
open.
of course, parenting.
But it does
Thank
fit
you for
both.
that.
It does work because both mom and dad have to work together.
You got to be
so-
a partner and a parent.
Absolutely.
Why did you want to write this book?
I didn't. I retired 15 years ago from the Calgary Police Service, and if you'd asked me 3 years ago, am I going to write a book, I would have told you absolutely not. However, I've had a number of parents ask me after doing parent speaking engagements, do you have a book? And I went, no. And they said, well, you need a book because we want to reference what you talk about after you're gone. And so I started asking parent groups after. I said, I've been told I should have a book. If I had one, how many would be interested? And virtually every hand would go up. So I went, okay. So
Here we are.
Here we are, exactly.
What are some of the biggest mistakes you think parents make these days?
Not acting on what they know they should when the children are young. I find a lot of the times when parents come to me, it's like what you should have done is 10 or 15 years ago, and now we're just doing damage control.
Such as?
It's just the way that they've allowed, in some communities I go to, the kids parent the parents. And so if the child says, I don't want to be at school today, the parent, okay, and they sign them out rather than like, no, you're going to school today. And so it just kind of, it starts young and then it grows and grows and grows, such as my bedroom is my bedroom. You don't have a right. And I'm looking like, who pays the mortgage? It's your bedroom. You allow them to stay in your house, but this is your bedroom. You pay the mortgage, so you have the right to go into that bedroom. But the kids have trained us in some cases that, no, it's my bedroom. You have a right. No, sorry. And so just some of those things. And then, a lot of the issues of vaping, gaming, all of those, self-harm, suicide.
Let's talk about some of those. Let's sort of pull them apart one at a time. So get to them when they're young so that you have a consistent message from when they're young into their teens. That's when the vaping is likely going to begin. Let's start with that one. What do you recommend on that front?
Well, vaping, unfortunately, there's not a lot of long-term studies out there to show the damage, but what we do know is whether there's nicotine or not, it's doing damage to the inner lining of the lungs. Also, there's a thing out there called popcorn lungs, where it's actually destroying segments of the lung, which is obviously going to hamper your breathing later on. So it looks cool for some of those kids. A study that came out in Alberta last year said that people that are vaping are twice as likely to start smoking cigarettes. So it's a vicious cycle. We did such a great job on reducing tobacco use and that, and then the e-cigarette comes in and all of a sudden we've got issues. And
those are all facts. They make sense.
Yep.
Teenagers do exactly what the parents don't want them to do. So how do you get to someone who says, yeah, I hear all that, I'm still going to do it?
You got to get to them early, and I think it starts real young, where you are the parent and they look up to you, and you are their role model. And so when you speak, they listen to you. I've had a lot of parents come up to me after a parent session, I hate you, and I'm like, well, and I hate you. I've been telling my kid this for the last 5 years. You said it once, all of a sudden, Mom, guess what? And they come in, and so it really doesn't matter who the deliverer of the message is. The fact is the kids get it, and when I talk to the students, it's real, it's straight up. I don't do fluff. It's and that's one of the things that they comment on, is that this was real. There was no soft, we have people come in and talk about one subject for an hour or whatever. Mm-hmm. You talk about multiple subjects and it's constantly coming at us in a wave, and it's very enjoyable for them.
Let's talk about another subject, cannabis. Illegal one day, it's legal the next. Are you worried about sending mixed messages to kids?
Well, what's happening with the legalization is a lot of the students that I'm talking to, the attitude is, well, it's not a big deal, it's legal. And that is a concern of mine. Before there was consequences, and now you just have to wait and there's no consequences. I don't have a problem with the CBDs, which is the medical quality. I don't have a problem with that. But the outright legalization, I think we're going to be paying for this for a long time. And it's going to take a while before we even know. Like when I do my drug presentation, it's kind of like, I wish I could tell you what's going to happen when it gets to court, but I can't, because we don't know what's going to happen when it gets to court if you're supplying cannabis to a minor, or if it's a minor to a minor, or you're in possession of more than what you should have. We're not sure where it's going to go, and we probably won't for the next 3-4 years know where it's going to go, because it's going to be fighting through the court system.
What about technology Technology, kids and their technology,
yes.
cell phones, tablets. What do you recommend parents do with the struggle over that?
It's got to be in moderation. A lot of parents that I'm talking to, they are zero during meals. Some of them are a certain time. After that time, there's nothing. It's family time, or it's movies, or it's homework, or whatever. But none of the digital world there. And it's like anything else. I love my iPhone, and I wouldn't want to have life without my iPhone. But I'm in control of my phone. It is off now. And, you tell the kids in the assembly, turn your phones off. A lot of them don't. They probably don't know how, because they never have had to. But a lot of them don't turn it off because that's their lifeline. And so for me, I'm in control of the phone. And when I talk to them, I want them to understand you need to be in control of your phone. Turn it off when you're in a movie theater. Turn it off when you're at the table. Don't have it. Turn it off while you're in your bedroom. It's amazing how many students have their phones on in their bedrooms while they're sleeping. I'm going turn it off. You're not so important that somebody needs to contact you at 3:00 in the morning. If it's that important, they can call the house. And if you get a call at 3 in the morning, it's not going to be a good call for the most part. But a lot of kids aren't getting sleep.
Self-harm. You deal with this subject in your book. You mentioned it. So what should parents watch for? What's the best way to deal with that if they're seeing a child harm his or herself?
Yeah, I guess the best way I can describe it is, a lot of parents come to me and say, what is with this self-harm? What is it? And basically, in a nutshell, the way I can describe it is they can't feel the pain, so they need to see the pain. And so they do that. Now, how does this work? If you've ever had a day at work where you're pulling your hair out and you're going, I just can't figure this out. What I had was one of those days, and I got on my bike. I used to live east of Calgary, and I rolled 16 kilometers, my bike into the city limits, and it was a hard ride into the wind. And then I rode back, and about 2 kilometers out, I slowed down, pedaled home. I'd already been able to settle in my brain what it is I need to do and the order I need to do it in. Went into the office, wrote it all down, put numbers beside what order I need to do it in, had a shower, and then I went...
So exercise is the advice?
But for me, that was that release.
Find a release for a child.
For what happens for them is they go to bed, and at 1:00, their mind starts going, and it goes faster and faster and faster, and they can't go to sleep, and they can't go to sleep. 3:00 in the morning, they get up, they do some self-harm, all of a sudden... and they can sleep. So for them, it's a release. Now, when I talk to some students, I let them know, a lot of the kids that I've talked to, they do this. And then what happens is they don't need to do it, but now it's a habit. They do it. It's their go-to move. They don't have to do it, but they do it now because it's a habit. And I say, are you there yet? And they go, yes. Okay, good. So we're on the other side of the cycle now. We can get them some help.
I could talk to you all day. I can see why parents urge you to write a book, and we're
thankful
that you have one to offer now. Thanks so much for coming in, Dwayne.
Thank you, Rob.
That's Dwayne Peace, who's the author of a new book called Parenting with Eyes Wide Open.